Tom Mills with the Biz Doc, diving into business news and crime news on this week's edition of I Want to Be Like Elizabeth Holmes. Of course, Elizabeth Holmes found guilty of defrauding investors in the Toronto scandal and is currently wearing orange jumpsuits somewhere in a minimum security penitentiary. I believe it's near Houston. Now, Charlie Javice, convicted of defrauding JPMorgan of $175 million. We all know what happened. She sells Frank, which was a matchmaking service for students and student aid. Who wouldn't want to match those up? While she was telling JPMorgan, allegedly by the facts of the case here, that she had $4 million, in fact, what she had done is she had hired a data analyst or a data expert and paid like $15,000, $20,000 to the individual to create a list of names after an engineer in her company, according to testimony in the trial, said, I'm not going to do this. They only had 300,000 names. She told Chase they had 4 million. Chase was depending on a lot of her explanations and PowerPoint decks and claims, and they did some diligence, but not deep enough diligence. They hired a diligence firm to merely confirm there were, in fact, 4 million lines of data in the database, number one. And number two, was the email addresses formatted correctly? Were the phone numbers formatted? Or some things. In other words, they were checking for the presence of data, not spot checking that the data was right. And it wouldn't have taken much of diligence to go down and pick one random out, and you probably would have found things like Hugh G. Butt, with an email of bigglutes@gmail.com or something silly like that. There was 300,000 real names apparently, but they claimed 4.25 million total names. Well, JPMorgan should have done their diligence, which apparently they didn't do, except what I'm describing here by the facts of the case. They had an independent agency just confirm it was properly formatted data, not whether that data was actually correct or true. Well, JPMorgan has a fit, turns all the files and everything over to the feds. The feds put her on trial, and she was convicted of defrauding JPMorgan Chase of $175 million. Now, from the you can't make this up department, her lawyers said, Your Honor, we understand she's now a 4-count convicted felon, but between now and sentencing, we would ask that she doesn't wear an ankle monitor. Why is that? Well, because it would interfere with her conducting Pilates classes. Hang on, Charlie Javice has a well-connected family and carries a U.S. and French citizenship. And so is she a flight risk? Probably. Is it going to be easy to track her down? Probably, but still, you don't get these privileges. Put on the ankle monitor. We'll see you in several weeks, and you will be sentenced. And the guidelines here, she could be sentenced up to 30 years because it's 4 counts of fraud and 1 count of conspiracy to commit fraud. As Elizabeth Holmes found out, lying to investors and then lying on top of lies and then conspiring with other people certainly doesn't pay. As Charlie Javice, the newest member of the 30 under 30 club, to find herself headed to prison. See the whole story and check out the timeline at vtnews.ai.